Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. There's a ridiculous story making the rounds today that BlackRock is planning to switch its focus from Bitcoin to XRP. There's no reason for this to happen, thus it's amazing that such nonsense can gain traction. You should be able to immediately recognize nonsense like this for what it is, an urban legend spread by the internet's viral nature. The future of XRP is currently a hot topic of discussion. The beauty of a decentralized network is that no one person can unilaterally decide, "I want to tell you how I think things are going to pan out." I don't think having a slew of D applications and other difficulties active on the XRP ledger's main net is the way to go, especially given the high price tag associated with doing so. What I do think will happen is that major stable coins like USDC, maybe even Tether, will be created on the ledger, and this will cause you to strip away the features that make XRP amazing. And you're going to get that implemented on exchanges of that liquidity, so that will be the best way to send consistent coin value. And in just 3 seconds, you can send us DC money from anywhere in the world. This is the future of stable coin transactions because of how cheap it is. It's going to have a huge impact. If an EMS is integrated into the XRP ledger, then trading in XRP USD will take place on a platform with deep and liquid markets. And I anticipate that significant firms like Coinbase will issue its own assets. Similar to how we currently operate with GateHub and issued assets on the ledger, other exchanges exist where you may trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a wide variety of other assets directly on the ledger, perhaps even gold. However, nobody wants to have to deal with GateHub. A pain unless you happen to be an XRP. You don't want to interact with GateHub, especially if you're a doofus like me. What gives with that? If, however, you are currently using an exchange like Coinbase, Kraken, or one of these others, the transition should be much smoother. And all your transactions might be conducted in a decentralized fashion. When you're ready to pay out, you may quickly and cheaply remove that value, especially if you're using a stable coin. There will be a lot of business, and the atmosphere will be electric. Is this the same thing as exchanging ERC-20 tokens on Uniswap and other similar platforms? There is a possibility of default from the other party, thus no. However, there are several benefits to standing out from the crowd. You need to find ways to set yourself apart from the competition through unique benefits. And I believe this combination will work very well. Many people would utilize those decks without a second thought. It all comes down to who is issuing the asset, they are on the ledger. So, in my opinion, you already have a stable coin in the form of XRP, which is both highly liquid and widely used. It's going to be a great area to transact value of all kinds, especially if you have some issued assets and ammo capabilities. That's the aim for XRP. Anyway, anyone may store anything on the ledger, exchange it, and transmit it to anyone else. All of this exchange of value occurs in XRP, the native coin of the blockchain. You will also have streamlined entry and exit points for your Coinbases, banking, and major marketplaces. This doesn't mean you have to give in to smart contracts and submit to app demands. Instead, you can do all of that on separate chains that connect to the main chain and benefit from its liquidity and trading value. This might have been said by Binance. But I believe that is the path we will take going ahead. Even if you use hooks, and I get that it's a lightweight smart contract and not quite the same thing, I still don't think you're dealing with Ethereum if your application is particularly complex. But I fear that the burden will be too big to maintain XRP's greatness in its current form. Regrettably, I do not reign supreme over XRP. I don't have any say in the matter. So, we shall see how this develops. But I believe that is the path that genuine stablecoin AMS installation and issued assets by important actors in this sector will take. That's the key to seeing XRP's growth and value manifest in the future. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, today released a statement asserting, at the very least, that Binance are not participating with the investigation. The SEC claimed in a court filing that the 220 documents submitted by Nance were hardly sufficient for a case of this magnitude and consisted primarily of legible screenshots, without any official documentation, including no dates or signatures. This is where caution is required. I get that we're all antagonistic toward regulators, but they can't be in the wrong all the time. They don't always have to be the villain. So, the question we must ultimately ask is Nance up to something? Too many people have said, "Oh, it's just FUD," to me. This is merely a cryptographic assault. Recall my request for you to do so. Remember CEO Binance Catherine Cooley? She vanished off the face of the earth. She hasn't been in touch yet. And I have no idea how long that's been going on. There was Brian Armstrong available to you. The guy stayed for a minimum of 2 weeks. And he says, "I'm outta here." What did he learn about the inner workings of the company? Why would he want to leave that position? Current CEO Brian Schroeder recently resigned, and there are many more high-ranking executives from the worlds of banking and international business. Mark Fagan replied, "Look, he can only speculate, he knows nothing, so no wonder they're taking off for the hills." Is it because there are money problems at the company? No, that's not fine. Or perhaps there's something major afoot, a criminal inquiry. If I had to guess, I'd say both, and that's not a good indication. If this was a typical case brought by the SEC, perhaps the CEOs could go afoul of the law. Even the personal liability that Chris and Brad faced in the Ripple case demonstrates how extreme the aggression may get. But apart from that, why are high-paying jobs in the executive ranks so freely given away? Justify your action. If Binance is out of money and not paying people, why do you think most of them want to stay working there? Maybe they have no idea what's going on under the hood, or maybe they hear the hammers coming but don't care. Again, it's not an either/or situation, both possibilities exist. And I think it's going to be very bad around here. And I think what we're going to see is the DOJ jump in, which is quite different than the SEC. Like with the money that Binance should have, the SEC shouldn't be a big problem, especially for their multinational conglomerate, and they should be able to sweat them away. Justice Department employees are much like you and me. This is what will ultimately result in harsh punishment. This is a company in which I have faith. You can refer to it as FUD by any name you like. I'm warning you to brace yourselves, because it could get rough, and those guys are huge. That's about as catastrophic as an atomic bomb, right? This too shall pass. But in the short term, it can be unpleasant. If you've got a lot of money parked on Binance and a lot of leverage right now, be very wary. You know the standard response: we've never had trouble paying out withdrawals, and there's never been a shortage of cash. Like Alex Mashinsky mentioned, things are fine until there is a problem, and then there is nothing left to go. When you can't afford to pay your withdrawals, that's pretty much it. I'm not trying to cause undue alarm by claiming that this is a sign that something terrible is about to occur. On the contrary. This, however, is not about FUD at all. Nance has repeatedly told the SEC that it does not have the requested documents because they do not exist, or do not exist, only to have the SEC obtain the information through a third party. There is a problem. To the extent that this is accurate. We're all aware of the SEC's ability to spin facts in such a way as to make you appear guilty. I'm not denying its truthfulness. Be cautious, though. Does that imply that this is all fluff and no meat? Yes, they do pursue some of those who have crossed the line into criminality. It's true that occasionally they produce quality results. It's possible that this is one of those occasions. We have this FTX bankruptcy. They're going to be selling maybe 100 million in crypto a week, I mentioned in a recent survey. Is there any chance that this could affect the value of cryptocurrencies? 70% of respondents responded no, that it would not change anything, and that it is effectively already baked into the price. And while I would agree with that to a degree, the problem is this. The inputs are unknown to us at this time. In your opinion, what will the market be doing next week? In a month, 6 months, or a year from now? It's hard to say for sure. And what will be this bankruptcy a stage willingness to continue to sell if things go bad, might have an even larger effect than we can possibly know right now because we just don't know all the inputs at this moment in time. If Binance were to blow up tomorrow and the markets were to tumble, this could have a much larger impact than we can reasonably know right now. If they continue to try to unload as much cryptocurrency as possible by pumping it into the market, it might have a snowball effect. You can't call it nothing. It just won't stand on its own too often. A certain way to crash the market, as you well know. Always remember that the pricing already includes all discounts. Now, today's news is huge. Local media in Japan report that the country may soon permit startups to obtain capital through the issuance of cryptocurrency rather than stocks. The new approach is relevant to investment business, limited partnerships, a type of investment fund. There may be details here that I am unaware of. Is there a minimum requirement for the size of your startup? Will there be a reporting component? Currently, our knowledge is limited. But I find it to be a fascinating topic. One of the best uses of crypto technology is in creative ways of generating funds, and because of the transparency of the system, it's possible to track exactly how much is being collected. And into what does it drain? This type of mechanism has the potential to drastically alter the game if implemented properly. And it may allow many previously excluded people to have access to capital. As a conclusion, I note that this analysis predicts Bitcoin will hit an all-time high in price before the year 2024 ends. This is not impossible by any means. I'm not saying it won't, but I'm seeing more and more people suggest that price increases are certain from here on out because of the proximity of the halvening and other events. And I just want to warn you against the notion that it has to take place. The previous time this happened, the price dropped in half. And, well, we did experience a pandemic, but that problem lies elsewhere. Nance's explosion could happen again, or the stock market could crash for any number of other reasons. History need not repeat itself in this respect, nor is it necessary to have a crash before the halvening. Use these types of indicators as guides as rough places to aim for. However, no promises can be made. In this game, such a thing does not exist. Because we know what the long-term view is, we are able to invest in value and reap the rewards of those investments over time. However, there is the issue of, assurances. It's been known to happen like that before, where everything goes flying. There are probably more things that could slow us down a little from here than there are that could send us straight to the moon. What am I going to do? I don't want to miss out on the cryptocurrency boom and wind up empty-handed. I need to be prepared to take a punch. However, I am eager to invest additional money in case of extreme difficulty. So, just take it slow. The trip has begun. This is a fantastic adventure. However, we are almost there. Around my opinion, things have the potential to heat up around 2024 to 2025. We've started our journey there. This, however, is not a race. Just take it easy and we'll do fine. Leave a comment and tell me what you think. Please subscribe and like as always. See you later, bye.